as the first overall pick in 2020. They're 1-9 in 5 years with him as the starting quarterback. So he wants to work out all those kinks in the preseason. He wants to be ready to go week 1 when they go to Cleveland, where he's had a hard time for whatever reason. They want to get off, ideally, to a 2-0 start. Because last year, when you lose those games early and you're digging out, what a horrible feeling that is, to be constantly digging out. Your margin for error is down to nothing. Every week it's extra pressure, and there's pressure anyway. But when you feel like it's slipping away constantly, and you're in a must-win game in October, you want to avoid that. You get off to a 2-0 start, you avoid it.
Yeah, no doubt. I think he knows that. I think he knows. Hey, he's a guy that needs to play. He likes to play. It obviously takes him a few games to get into the rhythm of getting back out there with the live bullets flying and all that. And there's plenty of guys that are like that. So that's understandable. He doesn't want to waste time, like he just said, working out the kinks on the offense the first 3 or 4 weeks, right? And then everything you're talking about happens. That's bad. They want to hit the ground running, be functioning at a high end right away. I think also, too, he probably realizes his defense is not very good. I mean, that was a little concerning last night. I mean, Washington, the first 3 times they ran the ball, I don't know, did the running back get touched before he ran 30 yards? I don't know. So that's definitely a little bit of an issue. I'm sure they realize as a team and an organization, that's a big question mark with the team right now, to where they're feeling the pressure a little bit of, hey, we got to score 30 points. That might be the way it is early in the year. We got to carry the team. Me, Jamar Chase, Higgins, right? The tight end, the running back, Brown looks good, all that. So I think they realize that. And then I think you couple that with Joe Burrow's on a mission. Joe Burrow's on a mission. That's the sense I get. I feel like he went on a mission when he got into that mode you were talking about last year, even watching back quarterback. I feel like there was a part where he finally went, you know what? I used to be quiet Joe and not say a lot and just be cool. And it was that Tennessee game, right? I don't know if you watched all quarterback, but he's sitting there. He's telling Zach Taylor, we stink today. We suck today. Sorry, London. We were horrible. We did so many things. We made so many bad mistakes. And I feel like not only has he put pressure on himself right now, he's pushing the organization a little bit. Right? He's pushing everybody because he knows he had an MVP season last year, and it went for nothing. Like Troy Aikman said, they couldn't even get in the freaking playoffs when he was as hot as we've seen any quarterback really in recent history. So I think he realizes he's got to push them, he's got to push himself, and he might have to carry the team early on while this defense gets figured out.
Well, there's still some figuring out to do, and we'll talk about the defense in a second.
Yeah, let's talk more Joe.
There was at least one moment last night.
Well, were you shocked he played three drives, right? Were you shocked by that?
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Especially,
and he got hit multiple times.
Woo! And especially with the third drive, right? He comes out and there's no, or even the second drive, I believe, there's no Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. And I went, wow, it's just Joe and the O-line and the backup receivers. And I think that says something, too, that Joe wants to play. He didn't even need that. He wants to get out there and play and work out some of these things at the line of scrimmage, get this offensive line in order, which we're about to talk about, and get them functioning at a high level because he knows he's got some guys he's got to deal with in the AFC North who can get after the quarterback. So, yeah, that's where I just get the sense Joe's gone up another level in leadership. I don't give a damn. This is what we got to do to win the freaking game and do all that type of stuff. And I like to see it from Joe. I really do.
You wonder what kind of push and pull was going on the sidelines, too, how much of it he demanded to stay in the game with the starting offensive line, because they weren't going to put him out there without the starting offensive line. But Joe Buck thought Jake Browning was in the third drive.
Right.
And, oh, wait a minute, it's Joe Burrow. Like, they were under the impression it was going to be 2 drives, too, and something changed. So I just think there's an urgency to change the narrative that they can't win early, and to get those wins in the bank. September wins are money in the bank, and the losses are debts that you spend the rest of the season trying to make up, especially when you compete with the Ravens and the Steelers in your own division. You feel like you're constantly swimming upstream, and it's exhausting as the season rolls on. If you make it to the playoffs, you can be dangerous. And if they had made it to the playoffs last year, they're battle-hardened because they've been in playoff games for 2 months.
Definitely.
They've been in up against the wall, and so they're not going to be freaked out by that like other teams might be, but they didn't get in. They came that close to getting in. And how interesting, how much more interesting. I mean, if it's, who was the last team in last year? Was it the Broncos? Was that the last team in? Were they the 7th seed? Yeah, they went to Buffalo.
Right.
Could you imagine Bengals at Buffalo to start the postseason?
Yeah, that would have been
amazing. Could you imagine how that could have shaken everything up in the AFC?
Well, I think he realizes that. He knows that. That's why he's pushing everybody. That's why he's doing crazy crap like we saw last night. You know, again, and that was a little too crazy. He went overboard. I mean, let's play the highlights. It's preseason game number 2, and my man here is probably a little frustrated on the second drive, and he goes, wait, I'm going to make a play. I'm going to show everybody I'm going to make a play. And I'm cool with that. But go down like 2 seconds before this, please. You don't need to take that hit. And then here in this situation, 2nd and 20, right? Same type of thing. I appreciate the effort in trying to take over and doing all that too. But, man, you got to be careful. You got to realize how important you are to your organization. And then, you know, I know a lot of people are making a big deal here about the offensive line and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, look at this. Look, I mean, Ted Karras throws his hands in the air. You haven't touched anyone. You don't have to convince the official you didn't block a guy from behind or hold him. You didn't touch him. They stand up and just let the guys run past them. I mean, what the hell is that?
I get it. And let's let this play one more time, if you don't mind. First is this. In 2 games, I do like their pass protection. This is not the best one right here, okay? It's 3rd and 12. They got after him. I get it. What I do think, they think he might reverse the field here a little bit, some of these other tackles and guys. So they're getting ready to run this way. Yeah, I don't know what Ted Karras was doing there. I'm with you in that one, putting his hands up, doing that. No, make contact, block somebody, right? The second one where he goes a little wild, this play, hey, the pass protection's pretty good. It is. You're not mad about that. It was just obviously good coverage here. He's got a good 2-3 seconds, but then he makes a move and he puts himself in a vulnerable position, and he's got to realize he is the franchise. He's arguably the best player in football. You know, you've heard Troy Aikman say that. You heard John Gruden say that. You got to be careful in that situation, but I do think it at least is showing you or exemplifying the urgency he has in wanting to take over, be great, make the team great, show leadership that way, but he does have to be careful. We know that.
He's got that effort attitude, it seems like.
Yes.
When you're so determined, you're just like, the hell with it. Let's just go. And if, you know, he doesn't care if he gets injured. It's not a matter of being fearless. It's almost, there's a recklessness to it where you're so determined you just don't care anymore. You're not going to protect yourself. You're more focused on getting things right than keeping yourself healthy. And there is a point where it's a problem. I mean, if he was rookie number 1 overall pick and he was running around like that, we would be destroying him for not having the awareness necessary to thrive in the NFL.
Right. No, you're right. I mean, listen, I was sitting there going, holy crap, I can't believe he just took a hit like that. And then, of course, the first one happens on a 3rd down, and you're thinking, well, that's going to scare the crap out of everybody in the Bengals organization. He won't be back the next drive. And then he comes back the next drive and does it again 2 plays later. But I think Joe Burrow is, he's giving 0 Fs like you're talking about. He's sick of hearing about Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar. If I know Joe Burrow, I guarantee that eats at him. And the fact that, they're going deep into the playoffs every year and getting all the attention there as well, right? So I think this is a highly motivated guy who also feels the pressure and knows the landscape of his team, knowing, our defense might not be very good, and it might be a little bit before they can kind of hold down the fort on their own every now and then. So I think he's putting the onus on himself with him and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Gesicki, knowing that, hey, we got to be the greatest show on turf this year. That's what we got to do. And I think he's got the hot poker there on everybody's butt in Cincinnati right now.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.